Hello dear students, in our online learning process, we are studying 10th chapter Magnetic Fields due to an electric current. In the last articles, we have studied that magnetic field is produced by a current carrying wire. How to calculate this magnetic field? Using Biot-Savart law, we can find out magnetic field at any point due to a current carrying conductor. In this figure, a current carrying wire of arbitrary shape is shown. I is the current flowing through this wire. L is the length of the wire. Consider the differential length element dl at the center of the wire. P is any point at a distance r from this length element dl. We have to find a small magnetic induction dB bar at point P due to the current flowing through this element dl. Let theta be the angle between the element dl and vector r bar. The net magnetic field at the point P is obtained by superposition of magnetic fields dB bar at that point due to different length elements along the wire. Experimentally, the magnetic field dB bar is produced by current I in the length element dl is given by dB equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon r square. Here mu 0 upon 4 pi is a constant. Mu 0 is called permeability constant. What is permeability? Permeability is the ability of medium to pass the magnetic flux lines through it. This constant is 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. Near about its value is 1.26 into 10 raised to minus 6 Tesla meter per ampere. The direction of dB bar is given by cross product of dl bar cross r bar. Therefore, the equation 1, that is equation of Biot-Savart law, can be written in vector form as dB bar equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl bar cross r bar upon r cube. Now from this equation we can state Biot-Savart law. How we can state? See, this term mu 0 upon 4 pi is a constant. So we can say that this magnetic induction due to the current flowing through this small element dl is directly proportional to the current I flowing through the element. dl, length of the element, sin theta is sine of the angle theta between the line joining the point P to the element dl and center of the element dl, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the point and length element dl. So equations 1 and 2 are called as Biot-Savart law. Now let us consider the application of Biot-Savart law. Figure shows a long straight wire carrying current I of having length L. Suppose P be any point at a perpendicular distance r from the current carrying wire. To calculate the magnetic field B bar at point P, let us consider the current length element at point Q situated at distance r bar from point P. Why it is called as current length element? Because it is a small element of length dl. Current is flowing through the element is I. So I into dl is IDL, which is called as current length element. Now using Biot-Savart law, the magnetic field dB bar produced at point P due to this small current element is given by dB bar equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl bar sin theta upon r square. The direction of this dB bar is given by the cross product of dl bar and r bar. To find the total magnetic induction, we have to find out the overall induction through the small elements in the upper half of the wire and lower half of the wire, because the wire is divided into very small current length elements. So here part A is the magnitude of magnetic induction produced at point P due to all current elements in the upper half, in this upper half of the wire, and the magnitude of magnetic induction at point P due to all current elements in the lower half of the wire. By symmetry of the wire, this magnitude of magnetic induction for both the halves is same, as well as both the fields are in the same direction, therefore they can be added. Hence, adding both the inductions, the total magnetic field B at point P is twice integration from 0 to infinity of dB. Let us substitute dB from equation 3 here. So the equation becomes 2. Mu 0 upon 4 pi is a constant term. So writing this term out of the integration side, integral from 0 to infinity I dl sin theta upon r square. Now let us come to the figure. From figure, r equal to, now in the beginning we have stated that point P is at a perpendicular distance r from the wire. So this triangle is a right angle triangle. So in right angle triangle, by Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse square equal to the square of the lengths. Therefore here r equal to under square root L square plus r square. Now this addition of these two angles is 180. So the angle inside the triangle is 180 minus theta, that is pi minus theta. Hence sin theta can be written as sin of pi minus theta. So sin of pi minus theta equal to opposite side upon hypotenuse. Opposite side is r, hypotenuse is small r, and small r is nothing but under square root L square plus r square. Hence sin theta becomes r upon under square root L square plus r square. So substituting all these values, this equation 4 becomes B equal to mu 0 I upon 2 pi, here 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, r dl upon under square root L square plus r square. We have substituted here for sin theta and r square. R square is L square plus r square. For sin theta we have substituted r upon under square root L square plus r square into dl. Now here L square plus r square is to half and L square plus r square is to 1. Half plus 1. Therefore it is 3 by 2. Hence the equation becomes B equal to mu 0 I upon 2 pi into r. R is a constant distance, so it can be written outside the integration sign. Integration from 0 to infinity dl upon L square plus r square bracket raised to 3 by 2. Now solving this integral, we can get the term 1 by r square. Solution of this integral is quite complicated, so it is not expected. You just remember that this integral equal to 1 by r square. Hence the equation becomes B equal to mu 0 I upon 2 pi into R into 1 by R square. Solving the equation, we get the final value of magnetic induction. Therefore, B equal to mu 0 I upon 2 pi R. This is the magnetic field at a point P due to both the upper half and lower half, that is upper semi-finite and lower semi-finite parts of the wire. Thus the magnetic field B due to semi-finite straight wire is, dividing this equation by 2, we can get B equal to mu 0 I upon 4 pi R. Now let us derive an equation for force of attraction between two long parallel wires. Figure shows two long parallel wires having length L. Let I1 be the current flowing through the first wire and I2 be the current flowing through the second wire. The direction of currents in the wire are same, therefore they experiences force of attraction. If the directions of currents are anti-parallel, then the wires experiences the force of repulsion. Now, as seen in the last expression, the magnetic field at the second wire due to the current I1 in the first wire, according to the equation B equal to mu 0 I upon 2 pi R. See here, the magnetic field at second wire is due to the current flowing through the first wire. The current flowing through the first wire, it creates magnetic field at every point of wire 2. This field is given by mu 0 I upon 2 pi R. Here D is the distance between the two parallel conductors. Hence the equation is B equal to mu 0 I1 upon 2 pi D. Due to the current I2 and the magnetic field B, the wire 2 experiences the force. We have seen that when the current carrying conductor is placed in the magnetic field, both are perpendicular to each other, then the conductor experiences a force which is given by the basic equation F equal to IBL. So here, for second conductor, the force F21 equal to I, the current flowing through the conductor is I2. B is given by the equation mu 0 I1 upon 2 pi D, and L is length integral dl. So the equation becomes F21 equal to I2 mu 0 I1 upon 2 pi D into total length L. Here F21 means force acting on second conductor by first conductor. In this manner, you can remember F12 or F21. The first number indicates on the conductor and second number indicates by the conductor. Now the total equation or total force acting on the second conductor is mu 0 I1 I2 L upon 2 pi D. Now let us consider the force acting on the same length L of wire 1 due to the current in wire 2. This force will be denoted by F12. F12 means force acting on first conductor by second conductor. This force F12 is equal and opposite to F21. Therefore, we can write F21 equal to minus of F12, because the direction of force acting on second conductor is towards the first conductor. Similarly, the current flowing through the second conductor, it produces magnetic field on the first conductor. As the flow of current and magnetic field both are perpendicular to each other, it experiences a force F12 which is towards the second conductor. Hence, The magnitude of both forces is equal but their directions are opposite. So in magnitude the forces are mu 0 I1 I2 L upon 2 pi t. Also we can write the force of attraction per unit length is. This L can be written in the denominator of LHS. So the equation becomes F upon L equal to, remaining terms are mu 0 I1 I2 upon 2 pi d. If the currents I1 and I2 are flowing in opposite directions, then there is a force of repulsion. The magnitude of this repulsive force per unit length is given by F upon L equal to mu 0 I1 I2 upon 2 pi d. So for both the currents force is same. Hence we can say that parallel currents attracts the wires or conductors and anti-parallel currents repels the conductor.